So we're now at our last stage of building a simple power supply. So we've taken our AC voltage and taken it from 120 volts down to a lower voltage. And now we've taken that AC voltage here with our rectifier and turned it to DC voltage. We've then used this capacitor to filter it to make it nice, stable DC voltage. Now, this is currently at around 14 volts, and we might want a lower voltage. So what we would do then is we would now make our last stage, and that's the voltage regulator. So how it regulates the thing. Now, the simplest way is what we've done here right now. We have a little resistor here to kind of limit the current, because this here guy, a Zener diode, can do the regulation for us, but can only handle a limited amount of current. So watch what happens when I bring it into the circuit, like so. So now we go down to 3.5 volts. So even if this varies, because if the mains voltage varies up and down, the amount of electricity that comes out will vary up and down here, and so it'll vary up and down a little bit. But what this does is it'll force it down to this particular one will be three and a little bit volts. They make them in various voltages and all that. And this is great if you have something that's doesn't require a lot of power. So what happens if we need more power? So for that, we can use, there's other types of power supplies, but for this simple linear one, we're going to use one of these guys here. And this is a integrated circuit, and it's a voltage regulator. This particular one is a 7805, and that's a part of the 78 XX series. The 78 is the voltage, is not the voltage, it's the series, and the number after it is 7805 in this case, gives us 5 volts, but they make them for 6 volts and 12 volts and what have you. You also can find them as 79XX, and those are the same thing, except that's for negative voltage. But this is a positive regulator. So we just need to put this in the circuit. So let's turn the power off for a second here. And we can take our current limiting resistor out, put that up there. And then we can take our Zener diode out, because we won't need that anymore. And on this guy, if we have with the little plaque, this is the back, this is the front. So if we're looking at the front, this is the voltage input, this is our ground, and this is the regulated voltage output. So let's pop this guy into our breadboard. Let's plug the input into our positive voltage, our middle down to ground here, and we'll plug our power back on. And right now the power is still at 14 volts up here. We can see a little bit more ripple now because this draws a little of current power, so this might not be a big enough capacitor. But if I take this off of here and put it down onto the output, let's connect that to the output there. Get in there, here we go. We now have, here it's got 6 volts, but it's just regulating down to about 5 volts. So we're now getting a regulated 5 volts thanks to this guy right here. And this is basically a very simple power supply. It gives us 5 volts, and it's regulated 5 volts. It won't change depending on what's going into it. Now the thing about these little guys is they need at least 2.5 volts more than what they're rated. So if we want 5 volts, we need to give it at least 7.5 volts. If we want 12 volts, we have to give it at least 14.5 volts. But that's the basic parts of a power supply. We have our transformer to take mains down to a lower voltage. We have our rectifier to change the mains voltage to the AC voltage, the lowered AC voltage, into DC volts. We have a little filter to keep it nice and level. And then we have our regulator to make it a very precise voltage.